Just actually a brief explanation of what I'm doing out here. I drive this little, I think they call them specialty utility vehicle or something. That's just a little, it's like a golf cart on steroids or something. And behind it, I tow this mower, which cuts about a 5-foot wide path along the walking trails, so that it's a little bit more foot friendly instead of having to walk along and stuff like this and wonder what it is you're about to step on. I provide a little bit clearer path for people to walk on and enjoy looking out on the sides of the paddies out here. Rice paddies, or actually they're not rice paddies anymore, they're areas for growing grass for wildlife, and these canals, so that you can sit and you can walk along and watch all this rather than watch your feet, make sure you're safe. So this is what I'm doing out here, and I hope you enjoy coming along for a little bit. This is one of the necessary evils during the day, is putting more string in the weed whacker. So it makes the world go around in the world of weed whacking. So I'll show you how to do it. Just take the little cap off the bottom. There's on the bottom of the weed whacker. This is where all the string comes from. You can see in there there's a little pieces left in there now, but they're not functioning properly. So what I'm going to do is take that out and put new string in there, and then you can add that to your resume of weed whacker string installer. Don't scoff at it. It's not as simple as it needs and as it seems in it. It makes the world go round. So, need something to cut it with. Knife. Decoration. Nice. So first thing I gotta do is I'm gonna cut off about 6 or 8 feet of this. It's easier to work with. So I got something to cut it with here. Cut this stuff. You know, I should cut it with you or up the creek without the proverbial paddle. And this knife actually was given to me by a neighbor in a prior town, and it's got Covenant International Evangelical Association Incorporated, and this is what he handed out to heathens around the world to sway them over to his way of perception about the way things were organized according to him. So Covenant International Evangelical Association Incorporated. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate that. Instead of helping some heathen out in Nigeria clean fish, using it to install weed whacker wire. So what you do is you thread this, there's a couple of holes in here, thread this cable, if you can get it. There you go. Down into these holes, and then you wrap it according to the instructions. This particular one in this direction. Around the spool, and this provides a reserve of string so that as you're weed whacking, and I'll demonstrate this later, you can tap it on the ground and it will allow more string to feed out so that you can continue with your weed whacking mayhem. It's more for butter than it is for anything to bag the rest of life. Doesn't have a good square edge on the end of this piece of string. It is absolute devil to get the thing stuck in this little bitty hole. This is probably oversized string anyway from the looks of it, so but that's what we got to deal with. So you just wind this on there. Use whatever artistic method you want to get it on there, as long as it's even and won't hang up on itself coming out. It'll be in good shape. So then what you do, is take this and we're going to install it in the bottom of the weed whacker again, so that the strings protrude. I'm going to push this down over that hole in the shaft, and then feed the weed whacker wire through these little holes, there's one on either side, so that it comes out at the appropriate moment. And when you put the cover back on, when you put the cover in, it may not occur right this second. There you go. Put the cover back on. Voila. And there's a little spring activated thing. When you turn this over and are mowing with it and you tap this portion of the device against the ground, it pushes that down and it allows some more string to come out. And if it gets too long, then it flies around and hits this little piece of sharp metal right here and cuts it off to an appropriate OSHA length that won't harm anybody and will barely cut the frickin' weeds. But if you let it get out long like this, it'll flail the holy hell out of anything in the way, including your legs and anybody else that gets in the way. So do it while I'm stopped. I think what's going on here. Take you down and show you the sluice gate here. This is one of the sluice gates that controls the flow of water. And so this is one of the canals that they let water in and out with these sluice gate controls here. Let me step out here and see if I can show you. Down in there is an actual metal gate that they raise and lower to control the flow of water in and out of these canals. And that water is actually coming from across the street here. And that canal is connected to eventually to the Savannah River. Right now it's at a low tide. Looks like the water is still flowing to the left a little bit. But it's several hours behind the main tide, so and that is there, which comes down to far distance down there. I don't know if you can see the Tallmadge Bridge. That's where the Savannah River passes under the Tallmadge Bridge into the port of Savannah. And what we're going to do is go over to this next gate and weed whack and mow around it and clean it up to the equivalency of this gate here, and we'll make one pass down that side of the canal on the dike, and then at the other end, which is about a mile or so away, we'll reverse course and come back up, and we have to mow each one of these paths a couple of times in order to make it really suitable for people walking on. Well, I was weed whacking around this little gate post area here and just clean up a little bit right by the sluice gate. A friend shows up, and from this distance he's a friend. I'll walk down a little bit closer. Right down there, I don't know if you can see right behind him, there's a bit of an outline of his length still in the water down there. If you go by the standard rule of thumb, which is 1 inch between the distance between their snout and their eyes. So if you measure from the tip of their snout to their eyes in inches, that's approximate length of the total length of the body. So he's about, I would say, 10 to 12 inches from his snout to his eyes. So he's probably 10 to 12 feet long. Of course, now that I want to show him to you, he's down in he sinks down. But he's there. They come up, follow me. When I come up by the bank, they come over there, and I don't know whether they look like an easy lunch or something out of curiosity to them. It's probably more curiosity than lunch. But at least to get a look at him. Maybe I'll get a better look in a while. There's a little bit better the side of the sluice gate over there. So we'll keep going. halfway down the second dike here. Just wanted to give you a little glance of what I think some of the beauty of all this is out here. These, I call them water lilies. I'm not sure what the technical name is, but they seem to be all in blossom right now, and it's just like fields of these things out here in the water. And those water lilies themselves, I don't know if you can tell here from, they're probably, some of those are probably 30 inches, maybe 3 feet in diameter. And there's some hush puppies, those hush puppies. That's funny. Cattails. If you can see the brown right in there. Little brown cattails. Those are, well, that stuff's probably 10, 15 feet high right now. And that is from whence we came mowing. It's just a one-track path. I've got several more passes to make on that. And these large frond plants right out here in front of us, they're some of that is probably 15, 18 feet high. So, and there I see another alligator coming up. Anytime I stop, they seem to, right out there in the middle of the canal, there's some little limb laying there, and there's an alligator coming up the dike back up towards me. Not sure what sets off that behavior, other than a need to eat occasionally, but quite common to see them come up towards me. And how close they get is basically my choice, because I'm quite well protected distance-wise and other capabilities here. Oh wow. And there is a big heron. Right there. He's kind of turned sideways. He's got his back to us now, if you can see him. He's big. He's probably 2, 3, 4.5, maybe not quite there. He's probably 5 feet tall. He's a pretty good sized boy. There, coming up the canal towards me. He's not that big, but pretty average size. Back to work. cattails here. I have to get out off the mower and walk up here because it's too damn noisy. Talk around it, it's too much trouble to shut it down. But this is a cattail. This part here kind of looks like a corn dog, actually. I think that's why I have a habit of calling them hush puppies, because they do have kind of the texture and the color and the well, most hush puppies I get are a little bit softer than that, but I don't think you can catch them to make that cattail hush puppy. So that's what they're called. There's a drag. This is the edge of the horse. Yeah, we're all over the place. That field back out all over there is hush puppies. Cattails. Cattails. Got food on the brain, I think. Yeah, this is that's where we're headed, down that way. Alright. Enough dilly-dally. Back to work. So here's some more of the I'm gonna call them water lilies. I don't know what the hell they are, to be honest with you. But there's some elevated ones. I haven't seen that too often. That's how big those boogers are. They are just spectacularly pretty. I see some out here that are not quite blossomed, just the big blossom balls on them, and then some others that have spread out. And of course the obligatory alligator sitting right down there. Let me see if I can get down here and push this a little bit. Up close. Yeah, that's damn cool. What I need to do now is take this mower, and as you can see, it's lined up just about directly behind the cart. I'm going to shift it probably off to the left side so that now the mower will sit out approximately here to the left, and that allows several things to happen. It allows me to go back down that center path there. Holy mackerel. I think that alligator just ate a bird. Oops, there he is. He's pretty big. Pretty big rooster. I will say that's 12 feet or better, if you can see him right down there. And it's odd to see their tail sticking up out of the water like that. I don't think I've ever seen that, where their middle section is submerged and the tail section is out of the water. That's quite unique. Anyway, what I'm going to do is going to go down the center path, and with this mower offset, I can go down the center trail here where I've already mowed, and it allows the mower to be offset to the left over here several feet, and that provides me with some safety, because when I go down the edge here, there's a possibility of the safety, because there's actually a chance of the cart going off the left-hand side of the embankment up there where there's some washouts, and it provides some safety for me, and gives me a clear path to go in so that I'm not running over any animals or any obstacles in the process of mowing. And then what I'll do is I'll come back in the opposite direction, and it'll be offset this time to the left also, but it'll be getting this section of trail. So what I'll do is I'll go down to this end of the trail and then go out on the road a little bit and come back down the other side of the diversion canal and end up at that gate and do a U-turn and go back out down a mile back out that way, get on the road again and come back through a similar gate and come back this way and make a sweep this way to mow this side of it. So we'll get the whole path mowed. I'm gonna walk you down here to the other side here a second and give you a little bit better look at this alligator. I'll be back in a second. Pretty good view of this guy right now. He's it's at least a foot between the tip of his snout and his eyes, which rough rule of thumb is there's an inch between every inch between the snout and the eyes represents a foot of body length. So I could easily believe that thing is 12 feet long. You can see some of his rear tail segments sticking out of the water in the back there. It's very odd for me to see that anyway. But again, this is one of the little, when I get around, and I don't know whether it's the dial soap or the fact that I am just looking gullible, but they do come up around you when they're, come up around me when I'm down here. And you see his tail sinking a little bit now. The rear of his body is submerging quite a bit. But boy, that's a pretty good sized head on that thing. He's a pretty good sized boy. All right, back to stopping more around. Alright, so what I've done now is swap that mower and offset it to the left. Offset that mower to the left side. You can see it sitting off this way about almost the width of the cart, and that'll provide me a little bit better mowing angle going down the new down the path again. And all I do is basically turn this arm over right here. This got an angle in it. It was flopped over to the other, which would put this over into the center, and I could connect it to the center. Now I just disconnect these pins, slide it in this way, and it puts the connect point, offsets it via that arm so that the mower sits out to the side. So Now we're going to go back down the left side of this trail. I'll be in the center, the mower will be on the left side, and we'll make 2 passes on each one of these trails, this one and the one next to me, and that should clean those up. Got all the weed whacking done, got the mowing done, or we'll have in an hour, so that'll be that. This is what it looks like with the mower offset to the side here. I can steer down this clear path, and the mower sits off almost full width to me, so it keeps me in a safe position, keeps me in a known spot up on the center of the dike, and I can see where I'm going. I'm not going to run over something that's an animal that would be or something that would be a hazard to me, but that allows me to stay in the center and mow the left or mow the right side, depending upon the direction. So that's the advantage of having an offset when I'm mowing. I'm through mowing the trails for the day. I've made 3 passes down each trail, and they all look good. It mows a lot better when it's drier. It's about noontime right now. Boy, the sky sure is pretty. I just wanted to show you some of the clouds out here today. Man, it's just spectacular. It's pretty cloudy this morning, but it's pretty nice out here now. A little warm, but well, something else I want to show you here too. The big blue heron sitting here. Right there. He's a pretty good sized boy too. He probably stand 5 feet. Doesn't seem to be too perturbed. There's some people over there watching him too, but I think he's got his eye on lunch. So anyway, I'm gonna get back on the cart here and get on the trail, get on the road. We're gonna go around all the way back around to that far tree line over there, and got a little bit of work to do over there in that area. Another hour or two of work before we're finished. So hope you enjoyed that part of the mowing. It's just a really neat place to go, and not many people get down there because it's hot, it's humid, it's buggy, but we try and keep it open for those that want to go down there. So I'll show you some more of what's around here on Take a Stranger to Work Day.